After the worst stretch of the season falling below 500, the Warriors traveled to Minnesota and managed to not choke a 20-point lead against the Timberwolves. Steph Curry exploded with 7 3-pointers and continued his abuse of Rudy Gobert, while Andrew Wiggins returned to his former home with 24 points to help their shorthanded Warriors. So let's break it down. Golden State came out to the best overall quarter of the year with suffocating defense and knocking down shots. Steph Curry points to Jackson Davis to run their go-to split action in the post. I was really happy to see Guy Santos start this game as he offers a bigger body who hustles and can knock down the 3-ball. The split action is extremely effective against defenses that do not switch off ball screens, and especially against a big man like Rudy Gobert who is wired to stay close to the paint. Curry jukes Ant in order to run off this off-ball pick and finds daylight as TJD's man and Gobert is in drop coverage and not interested in coming out to the perimeter, so he's able to catch in rhythm and knock down his first 3-ball. I've made plenty of videos of how Steph Curry loves to target Rudy Gobert on defense, especially in on-ball pick-and-roll actions. The goal is to get the slow-footed big man out of the paint where he is effective and out on the perimeter. Looney sets a high screen and roll, and Rudy is actually ready for this because it is rare for him to come out all the way to the 25-foot area in a high show. But when Steph pretends to keep his dribble alive, Rudy starts backtracking, and this is where he got caught. You just gotta respect the greatest shooter of all time as he pulls a 28-footer with the Defensive Player of the Year in his face and swishes it. That's not even bad defense in my opinion. Golden State was shutting the Wolves offense down, grabbing rebounds, and all the momentum was on their side, so when Steph sees the older and smaller Conley, he smells blood even in an isolation play. A combo of a step back into a tween then crossover, Steph Curry is able to create just enough space to launch a pull-up. Conley has no chance to contest. This was terrible miscommunication by Minnesota. High pick and roll with Looney again, and Chris Finch decided that he was over the drop and told Nasri to run out and immediately trap Steph to get the ball out of his hand. Curry's able to lob this short roll to Looney where there is a momentarily 4-on-3 advantage on the back end. The stupid thing is both Reed and McDaniels leave Steph, and in my opinion this is fully McDaniels' fault. Your instructions are to stick to your man. Why are you worried about GP2, a non-offensive threat? Looney stays patient and looks back at the wide open Steph. This is the most space he's going to get for the night as he hits his 4th 3 in a row. Andrew Wiggins came back home, and I feel like since he was traded, he always has great games against his first team. Here we have an inverted pick and roll with Steph Curry, which is definitely something Steve Kerr should run more. The reason his defenders are so afraid of Steph's shot, using Curry as a screener allows the ball handler to attack the paint without a switch and get an advantage. No communication here by the Wolves, and Wiggins gets past Alexander Walker and is able to get a tough layup to drop even with rotations. The Warriors also did a great job on Ant-Man in the first half as well. On this drive, Steph makes the correct rotation as the weak side low man to help, forcing Ant to pass into traffic and deflect this kickout pass. The Dubs are now in transition when Guy Santos picks up the loose ball. Shout out Santos because I feel like he was never really in a rush here. Here he does not throw the pass up to Buddy, instead waits for Steph. Then knows it will be a tic-tac-toe play as Curry uses his gravity to bring out Nasri from the paint. Easy bounce pass into cutting Jackson Davis for a wide open dunk. The ability to ISO on a lankier and solid defender still amazes me at 36 years old. One reach by the defender and it's a behind the back counter and dribble penetration to shake him off balance. Waits to see if McDaniels will run into him so he can try to draw the foul, then senses the lack of rim protection by Gobert for a scoop layup. That's a superstar move right there at 6'3". Good things happen when you give Curry the ball to run, high screen, and rolls. Guy Santos sets the pick at half court, forcing Randle to come out at 30 feet. Look at the screenshot. Have you ever seen this type of defense in the 90s or 2000s? Randle comes out to show, but the threat of Steph's shot was at the back of his mind, and Curry is able to counter this high coverage by not shooting and using his speed to get past his man for a layup. Here off ball, we can see Steph point out that there is a mismatch with Gobert on the perimeter. When you see this, you just have to capitalize on every opportunity. Santos immediately looks to swing the ball, but Gobert is so afraid of his shot that he comes out to try to deny the swing pass. Easy counter the back cut, and this forces the rotation from the next man over from Randle. Basketball 101 here as this leaves Wiggins wide open in the corner. Way to knock these ones down, Wiggs. I repeat, Steph Curry eats Rudy Gobert alive every time the Warriors meet the Wolves. High screen and roll with Looney, and Gobert is in a drop coverage and struggling to move laterally. Steph snakes his dribble, which forces the switch on the Gobert, but then suddenly dribbles back to create even more space. You gotta think he mentally just knows he's gonna eat every time this matchup comes up, so he's confident enough that he's able to pull these threes and knock them down. Even when you play the best defense of your life, I mean, look at McDaniels sliding his feet, closing out to the perimeter. He never once gives Steph even a foot of room at 6'8". Once you realize he's not able to create separation with this poor spacing by the Warriors, he tells GB2 to get out the way, and Looney also leaves him to isolate. Tween and a couple crossovers allows him to drive with a strong right hand, where he once again tries to draw contact from behind with McDaniels. If you're the rim protector with Gobert, you just have to come out. I mean, that's your job. But Gobert does not commit to this contest, allowing an insane scoop shot. I don't think I would make that in 5 times wide open if I tried. But then, of course, the Warriors choke even a double-digit lead, and now it's a one-possession game. Thank God the Wolves also show little effort in defending here. I mean, look at all this jogging. Schroeder realizes he has a 2-on-1 advantage on the left side of the court, so he attacks the middle to draw DiVincenzo out. Simple kick out to Andrew Wiggins, who has a great look and knocks it down. Terrible defense by Minnesota. Shout out Wiggins again for his isolation scoring when the Warriors really needed it, and his aggressiveness to get to the free throw line and not only knock him down, but also draw help defense to create other high quality looks at the same time. Here Wiggins gets a step on McDaniels and aggressively drives with a strong right hand. This forces Gobert to rotate over as the weak side low man rim protector, but then Golden State runs a semi-blind pig action, in which Wiggs passes to Looney, who immediately looks on the wing for a handoff with Steph. You often see this action run by Draymond Green, but Looney's handoff also acts as a screen, where Steph is able to catch and come off to see Gobert in a drop coverage. One dribble and Curry lets it fly. Here you can see the Wolves first switch this with Naz Reid, but then Looney's second screen also does not create much, as both Minnesota big men do a good job focusing on Steph. Great patience here as Curry waits for GB2 to get open, but I mean, look at McDaniels. I thought he was a good defender, but this off-ball awareness is terrible. He's literally guarding nobody. Once GB2 gets the ball, you can see Naz Reid immediately follow his instinct to look at the rim, but then this is the last thing you want to do when you're guarding Steph Curry off ball. He will 100% relocate, and I think that's what makes him the greatest offensive threat ever. Naz Reid is still looking at all the commotion going on in the paint and guarding nobody, while Steph Curry is wide open for 3 seconds in the corner. You can also rely on both Looney and GB2 for not putting up bad shots in the paint, and Reid sprints to close out, but it's too late. Sidestep dribble to get in rhythm, and Steph makes a dagger. That's some GOAT shit right there. There you guys have it. With the Dubs playing their worst basketball in years, we can always rely on them to show up against the Minnesota Timberwolves and regain some confidence. I believe Steph Curry gains a mental edge whenever he knows Rudy Gobert will be involved in defensive actions. Gobert's defensive style is so predictable, especially for a player like Steph, who excels as a dribbling and pull-up threat. Steph skillfully countered the drop coverages with three-pointers and expertly relocated off-ball for wide-open catch-and-shoot opportunities, knowing Gobert could not stop him. The Dubs also got a great performance from Andrew Wiggins, who always seemed to thrive against his former team as well. Wiggins knocked down big shots, got to the free throw line, and shot a high percentage from there as well. His isolation scoring was crucial at a time when half the Dubs were out with injuries, and they most definitely needed it. It's a bloodbath in the Western Conference playing seeding right now, but the Warriors finally end this road trip with a win. Now it's back to a long schedule in California, so you guys like this breakdown, like and subscribe to see more.